Well,
Yeah,
the new album North Star is out now. It's been out for a few months now.
yeah, that's
So
correct.
far, how would you say the reception has been?
So far, I think well, first of all, it's really great to finally have it out. It's
Yeah,
it's like a weight on the shoulders the last few months before it's out. But when it's out, I think the feedback has been really great.
hmm
I think the at least the previous couple of albums has always also had a great review, and this album is somewhat in the same vein, I would say.
good.
It's just same shit, different rapping kind of thing. It's just
Yeah,
the same path with good songs. At least in my opinion. So yeah, really good reviews and great feedback. It's too bad we can't do anything about it right now. But
no, but
yeah,
everyone's
that's
in
the
the same
same
boat.
same for everybody these
Yeah.
days. Yeah.
What was the recording process like? Was it pretty smooth? Did you have to contend with COVID at all?
It was pretty smooth actually.
That's good.
And we record here in the city locally. At
Mhm.
the studio of Huda, the bassist vocalist. He has
Yeah,
a studio at home, so we record there. So we can basically come and go as we please, and at least during this COVID period, I live in a small city on the west coast. We've been kind of spared
mm.
for a very long time.
Uh-huh.
Very little people who got sick here at all, basically.
That's good.
So, in the beginning of this pandemic, we sort of the newspapers tried to convince us that we're all going to die tomorrow. So we were a bit cautious, to some mix up and get in the studio. So we took a break, but after a while, we saw that there was, we just had to do something, and start recording, and really smooth, and also because we don't have anything else to think about, like gigs, stuff that breaks up your concentration, you know.
Yeah. You
So yeah,
mentioned, sorry.
no, you go ahead.
Okay. You mentioned North Star is kind of in the same vein as the more recent albums. Obviously,
Yeah,
though, every album does have its own unique stamp, unique flavor, if you like.
yeah.
What would you say makes this album different from the previous one?
As I said, yes, it's based on the same template, not intent by intention. It's just that's where we are right now, I guess.
Yeah,
That's the kind of music we prefer to make these days.
yeah,
What I think is different, though, than at least the two previous albums, is that it feels more, heavy metal.
mm,
It's like an aura of heavy metal about it that we didn't have as much on the other two albums before it. Another thing I can mention is that uh, a lot of people have mentioned about this album, and that's the solos.
yeah,
They're really, I don't know, something just clicked on this album. It's really tasteful stuff that came out. So yeah, maybe
good.
maybe that's also some of the reason it has that heavy metal aura about it. I
Yeah,
think. Yeah.
absolutely. It doesn't hurt to um, let your influences show a little bit, I think, and
Yeah.
kind of demonstrate how varied Einherjer is as a band.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. Um, but this is the first album released through Napalm Records. I think the previous three or four were all released through indie recordings.
That's correct. Yes.
Yep. How's the relationship with the new label been going so far?
Well, I guess so far it's been going great. They've been really good to us. I don't know what else to say. It was just a bit of a surprise that they actually wanted to sign us. It's difficult for anybody to get a record contract these days. Even us. So Yeah, so it was awesome, really.
Oh, good.
Just perfect fits.
And did they contact you, or were you sending out?
I think we contacted them actually because they didn't know that we were looking at all. It was just that the contract the contract with Indie Recordings was over, and we thought we might fish a little bit, just to check out the terrain.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
they were interested. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they seem to be putting quite a lot of promotion behind it as well. We've got 3 music videos already: Stars, Blood in the Iron, and West Coast Groove. And
exactly. Yeah.
yeah, it's cool. Every video is very different. For example, like the Blood in the Iron is kind of like movies like Centurion and things like that. Yeah, Valhalla Rising, I guess. It just seems like a really cool kind of brutal Viking
some people
shit.
said that it looked like a Vikings episode.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. It's that's also a bit different from earlier. We normally in all artwork we do these days, we use a guy called Costin Giuliano from Romania.
Mm-hmm.
He's a brilliant guy. He makes videos and designs our album covers and everything. But because of this pandemic, he naturally couldn't come here to make the video. So we asked a local friend actually to make these 2 first videos for us. And that's cool. It's made the things different than a new thing for us to try out.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. And but the last one, West Coast Groove, that's designed by Costin. Yeah, the animated one.
Yeah, I really like that one. That's so.
Me too, actually. It was really because it was really surprising because we don't give him any input at all. He just makes something cool and he does it, and and we're always pressed on time. So when he sends us the result, we don't have the heart to go pick on minor details. Can you change that and blah blah blah. Just perfect. We'll take it.
It's kind of strange to say for a metal song, but the video is quite pretty. It's quite what's the word? Like visually, it's stunning. Really, I think.
Yeah, me too. I think many people don't like. We have got comments that many people don't like animated videos, but I think once in a while we must be allowed to do stuff like that.
Yeah,
I think the song is a little bit. It fits that song. It's a bit of a tongue-in-cheek song,
Yeah,
it's about the band and it's about our history and it's about the place we live, So,
yeah, exactly.
We could do that.
Yeah,
from time to time.
Yeah, I like animated videos, and also, I remember when it came out. There was a few people going, "It's West Coast Groove. It's not a fucking hip hop song." And I'm thinking, well, where are they from? West Coast of Norway, and does it groove? Yeah. Well, then shut the fuck up.
Yeah, exactly. Some people get some kind of misconception that we're talking about California or something,
Yeah.
which we're not. But it's
West
actually
Coast of Norway is just as nice, I imagine.
Yeah, it's a bit colder and it rains sideways, but still, it's actually the name is taken from New York Groove.
All right.
From Kiss, or maybe not Kiss, but they have a recording of it at least. Because we love Kiss,
Yeah. Something else I really like is the artwork as well. The artwork is really, it's strange because it's colorful, but it's not like vibrant. You know what I mean? It's
it's a lot of the same tones.
Yeah.
That's what I like. I like that in artwork.
Yeah.
And
who did the artwork for this one?
Yeah, Costin Giuliano from Romania, that same guy. who
Oh,
did the
okay.
album cover. Yeah, he's fucking brilliant, you know.
Yeah.
And it's typical of his work. I've seen by now that it's a lot of the same tones he uses. So yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
There's no huge contrasts, you know.
No, it doesn't always need to be though. You know, it's as long as it gets the message across. You know.
Yes,
Do you feel it
exactly.
represents the music well?
Excuse me.
Do you feel that the art represents the music well?
Yes, I do, very much.
Cool.
He, as I said, we never give the guy any input
No.
at all. Just maybe some song titles, and for the videos we send him the lyrics, though, right? But we don't direct him what to do or anything like that. We don't give him any ideas.
No.
But he always surprises us in, you know, it sort of makes it better than we could have imagined ourselves. You know, it's like he knows us better than we know ourselves. He's been actually following the band since the beginning. So,
Oh, cool.
yeah. So
Yeah.
he knows what this is about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of the beginning, this year marks 25 years since Dragons of the North was released.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel old.
Looking back, how do you view that album?
Well, I think it's still, you know, when the album came out, it was really, really different from everything else coming out of Norway, at least, because we sort of had a violent upbringing, you know, in the black metal stuff.
Yeah.
We came out of the same wave, but we, you know, chose not to play black metal. We had different influences like heavy metal and Bathory, especially.
Yeah.
So it sort of drove us in a different direction than, you know, the normal black metal band. And the point is that the album sort of had a good standing in the black metal community, as well as in the, you know, other heavy metal community as well. Sort of worked all over, you know. So that kind of album, it was different back then. Yeah. So I think it's still, you know, it's still a classic. I mean,
yeah, definitely.
Sort of a kind of a milestone back then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely an album that a lot of Viking metal fans hold up, you know.
Yeah, it is. You know, I'm not gonna say that.
No.
We're gonna just make all albums better than Dragons of the North, because, you know, I know that's just impossible. you know, maybe you can make you know, technically better songs, you know, better sound and all that, and maybe, you know, in general better songwriting, but you can't recreate that atmosphere from 25 years ago, and you cannot change how people feel about the album. You know, you can't you can't renew nostalgia at all, you know. Nostalgia is like 90% of music, at least for me. That's why I listen to 80s heavy metal still, you know. Yeah.
Obviously, touring and all that kind of thing, that's out of the question at the moment. So, what plans have you got to further promote the album?
We don't know. You know, we have no idea when things will go back to normal, if they will, you know. Things go extremely slowly with, you know, vaccination, everything like that. So this year is out of the question, at least. With touring, we were lucky enough to actually play a gig here locally now in February. Actually, 2 gigs.
Oh wow!
Yeah, but I was pretty, you know, amputated. You know, 100 people each gig, but still, at least 200 people get out and drink some beer. You know.
Yeah, and it's better than nothing.
It is. So right now we don't really have any plans because we don't know what to do. The only thing we have been doing I was calmed down a bit now, but in the beginning, after release, we had like interviews every day, several back-to-backs, so that's what we were doing then. But now things are dying a bit out, and it's a bit calmer. So now I think Frode was here like 10 minutes before you called.
Yeah.
So we talked about having a sit down and maybe make a time schedule for the next album, actually. How to go on with the situation, songwriting, make a deadline for ourselves, I personally, I work best under pressure, and so does Frode, I know. So if we make deadlines for ourselves, it is easier to get motivated to go to work, basically, instead of gaming and watching Netflix, when you rounded YouTube and seen everything was in there. So maybe it's time to start working. So I think that's the plan, just start working on the new album.
Wow.
Just, acknowledge that, this whole thing was a meh moment that you can't fulfill properly,
No, but at the same time, sorry.
No, it's continue.
Okay, I was just going to say that, it might feel like a disappointment because you can't get out there and tour ever, but it's a solid album. It's something to be very proud of.
Yes, I think so too, and it's a bit sad, but the album is out, and it will be out in 2 years as well, so we can play the songs later on. I mean, it's not dead, so
no.
Yeah, so we'll continue as nothing happened when this thing is over. We'll just maybe add a couple even newer songs on the set list, So
nice.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, Gerhard, thank you very much for taking the time to speak to me today, mate. I really do appreciate it.
No problem.